Hi everybody, it's me again. I just wanted to make another video. Now that I'm kind of more of an NCO and I guess leadership position, I thought this video would be a little bit helpful for maybe the younger airmen or just anybody in general. So this video is kind of about like finding a mentor and kind of figuring out what you want to have in a mentor or a leader or someone you look up to. So for me personally, I usually mentor younger airmen. I mentor trainees that come through BMT for us. And mentors don't always have to be within your AFSC. I do mentor a couple people within, I guess, my AFSC. I've never been officially named a mentor or been asked to like, can you be my mentor? But that's all right with me. If younger airmen or even BMT trainees are just like, ma'am, I was like, what would you kind of do differently if you could restart your career over again, even though you haven't been in that long? What advice do you have for us getting through BMT? What advice do you have us for going through tech school? And just all that stuff like that. Um, Maybe if you're interested in cross training or retraining into a different AFSC, maybe like OSI or going special warfare, which is usually always the biggest question that I always get when I have male trainees come through my office. Sometimes they're interested, they're like, oh, ma'am, I've always wanted to go PJ, I wanted to go TAC P, I want to be a SEER specialist. And the reasons for those are I would always recommend it's like absolutely if you're like 100% committed, like you want to be in that AFSC, go find a mentor within that AFSC so then you can start already training, start figuring out, at least for special warfare, the physical qualifications that you will start needing to do to be within that AFSC. I also recommend to find an AFSC or a mentor within that AFSC is go to your CAA or your career assistance advisor. There's always one per base. They're usually a senior NCO. Um, Usually your CEA is always the best person to talk to about anything, whether you're like, oh, I'm wondering if I should separate. I'm wondering, should I re-enlist? Maybe I should go Palace Front, Palace Chase. So anything that's to do with your career, definitely reach out to your CA as they're a vital source and a really good source just to use in general that the Air Force provides for us. Also, with finding a mentor, I usually recommend to my trainees and my airmen to always find a mentor within each level. So that can be junior enlisted, NCO, senior NCO, and even the officer tier. And even with the officer tier, you can break it down even more from, say, an O1 to an O3, and then from an O4 to an O6. When I look for a mentor, I kind of ask myself two different questions. Do I have a connection with this person? And do I feel like there's someone that I can personally trust? If I can't feel like I can trust them, and that goes the same way with my supervisors, if I feel like I cannot personally trust my immediate supervisor, then what kind of relationship am I going to be working off of? If you don't have that, then maybe you're not the right mentor for me. But maybe for yourself or how you want to find a mentor, maybe there's other questions that you can ask yourself when you're looking for somebody like that. If you're already in the Air Force, I believe it's MyVector. It's on the Air Force portal. That's a really good way to find mentors through that way, but also just not through MyVector. You can also reach out to your local Airman's group or Airman's Voice. It could be called Rising 4, First 4. At Lackland, our Airman's Council is called Airman's Voice. So within the Airman's Voice at Lackland, what we used to do before COVID unfortunately had hit was we'd reach out to our 5-6 group, which is your NCOs and your NCOs. So your 5-6, your E5s and E6s, and they would match you up with an E5 or an E6. I have definitely found a couple of mentors, not just really through MyVector, but just in like other really random ways. An NCO who was a representative for us from the 5-6 for our Airmen's Council the year that I was president. She ended up becoming my mentor, and she was really with me during the progress when I was becoming an E4 and then I made E5, and she played a really big part of just all of that, and it was just amazing to have her around. I also have some senior NCOs that I met at Keesler that I also will consider my mentors. I have not personally asked them to be my mentors, but I definitely look up to them as they are very strong female senior NCOs and male senior NCOs as well. Another person I guess I could consider my mentor or someone that I look up to is my sister. So my sister joined about 3 years after I did. So she has not been in the Air Force that long. However, she's in 03, so she's a captain right now. So of course, that's way higher ranking than me. Now that my sister is actually in the Air Force, I do go to her to kind of see what she kind of thinks from an officer point of view. And she's in the medical field, and of course, I'm not. I'm HR. So I kind of see I try to see from her point of view whether it's about my self growth journey. I just need someone to talk to, or it's like, hey, um, I'm in class, I'm kind of writing about this stuff. What do you think about this from this point of view, or maybe that point of view? As I wrote for um, my college class recently, I wrote a paper on algorithms and suicide within the armed forces, and her being on the medical side of the field was really insightful and really helpful to have her just be able to talk to me about it when I got stuck in that paper. Like I said, I've never been officially named a mentor by anyone before, but I do mentor a lot of trainees. I know a lot of the trainees love come back to see us because they're just like, ma'am, you're so insightful. You just are really helpful. You speak to us like we're human beings. And I tell them, I was like, well, for my trainees, I'm gonna treat you like adults, because if you're not adults in this situation, then you obviously don't deserve to get your top secret clearance. But like I said before in my other videos, I work with top secret trainees usually only, so those are the only ones I see. I have been mentoring and speaking to the holdover airmen, which are the airmen who are usually either waiting for a job, waiting for medical clearance to go to tech school. So that's been really awesome to kind of see from the BMT point of standpoint view, and then also with trainees, well, I guess airmen that are actually graduated. Um, and then other than that, that's it. It's just been so awesome with this journey of mine of just being an NCO, being a leader now, being, I guess, a mentor to others. I mentor, I don't officially mentor, but I speak to two different A1Cs. One is in Kadena right now, and I think the other one's either in Arizona or New Mexico currently. They're both personnelists, they're both great airmen, and they're going to do great things in life, and I tell them constantly. Um, but it's so awesome to talk to them and just help kind of watching their career progress. When they get back to me after a couple months and they're like, hey, ma'am, just wanted to see how you're doing, Sergeant so and so. This is what's kind of going on in my life right now. Thank you so much for the advice that you gave me a couple months ago. Here's kind of an update for this. And I'm like, that's so awesome. I was like, I'm so glad to see that you're doing well. It's really awesome for the trainees that I've met as well, who have somehow just randomly found me after they become operational. Sometimes they get stationed at Lackland and they're like, oh my gosh, ma'am, I remember you when you worked on my paperwork with me during BMT. There are two other personnel airmen who work at the MPF currently at Lackland, who is part of the Keesler BMT that I'm pretty close with, and they're awesome airmen as well. But this isn't a super long video, but like I said, look for what you personally want in a mentor. I know what I want. Everybody's different within their own rights and their own ways, and that's okay. And then, other than that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just please leave a comment back down below in the video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!